All right, welcome back, everyone. Excuse me, I gotta pop up here. Today, I'm so happy to share with you a cool technique. As most of you know, I work in a corrugated box factory as a quality and safety manager. And I see a lot of you guys, including myself, using corrugated cardboard or cardboard, as most of you call it, in their artwork. So I thought I would show you a great way to make your own cardboard, make your own corrugate. Here are a couple samples that I've recently done this morning. This one, as you can see, I got red on the interior and pattern paper on the outside with a little stenciling going on, little stamping. What's exciting about this technique is that you can use absolutely any paper you want, in any colors that you want. So, you know, your corrugate doesn't have to be, your cardboard doesn't have to be the regular brown stuff, or sometimes you get the white. As you can see, I got a lot of rips going on over here, a lot of distressing, but it also can be as simple as you want it to be. You can die cut into your top layer of pattern paper rather than ripping it and get a very clean look if that's what you're going for. And again, here's I'll try to get a close-up of this guy. Even more textured with that. So very fun, and it doesn't take a lot of work or a lot of tools. So let's go over the tools. Here I've got 2 sheets of cardboard. It's all in my head now, guys. 2 sheets of cardstock. One is going to be the medium, what we in the corrugation industry call the medium or the flute, and the other one's going to be the back or the liner, what we call it. And then I chose this pattern paper to be the top. This is from the Reflections 6x6 stack from Prima. Beautiful paper. So I'm going to make this one also very soft. Now the only limitations that you have size-wise is how wide your crimper is. So you will need a crimper. Here's my squeaky one, because I've had it for a long time. This is a Fiskars one. If you're a long-time scrapper or stamper like me, you probably have one of these in your stash right now. So it's called a crimper, but to me these are mini corrugating rolls. It's almost looks exactly how we corrugate boxes in the plant. So we're also going to use some Aleene's tacky glue, a spray bottle full, spray bottle with some water, and I've got some glimmer mist and some moonshadow mist. The moonshadow mist is in Long John Silver. The glimmer mist I'm going to be using in Sapphire. Any colors will do, obviously, based on the paper that you've selected. And that's all you need. So, step one that we're going to do is preparing the top sheet. Now, again, I've done a lot of ripping. And if you want the ripped look, what we're going to do is take our X-Acto knife, and I'm just, can't see there, but I'm just making an X in the corner. And now these are going to help you peel back. You can already start the peeling if you want to right now. And I've left, if you can see here, I've left a couple of slits there to so that'll help me peel it back once it's all glued together. I'm also going to rip down the side, maybe one of the corners. And again, if you don't like the grungy look, and then over here maybe I'll just cut my X again so that when it's glued I can peel it back. If you don't like this rippage, ripping grungy look, then you can die cut this and create a cool window. It's absolutely limitless what you can do. Alright, so that we assume we've got our little rips going on. Maybe you have yours die cut. Now we're going to go to what in the industry we call the medium. Now to make corrugate you need 3 things: paper, steam, and starch. The starch part of it, that's the glue that keeps the flutes together. Keeps the flutes stiff, I should say, not together. So to prepare our medium, why you need steam is to condition the paper so that it goes through your rolls, your crimper in this case, correctly. So instead of steam, we don't need something hot. We're not making thousands of feet of corrugate every hour or minute. So we're going to shouldn't say minute, every hour. We make it about 300 feet sorry, 300 meters a minute, which would be 900 feet per minute. Anyway, so sapphire blue, and I'm going to spray, oh, of course, the one I want to use is clogged. And you know why that is. If you guys have seen the the Tattered Angels videos, where she says you have to commit to the spray. I don't commit to the spray. I like the splots. And because I don't commit to the spray, mine clog. So it's totally the user. So I'll suffer silently through that. So instead I got some olive vine here. I hope this one works. This may be a long video. The joys. Let's see. Oh boy, I was using this wild currant the other day. It should be good. I like splots. I can't help it. I like the drippy look. I've got to fix those. I was fixing one this morning, so I just got to soak those out. There we go. So I'm going to leave it pretty wet. And there's butterflies, but I like the steampunk look. Steampunk. If you guys haven't watched Pocono Pam and Ruckus at this, oh my gosh, guys, it's hilarious. Check out Pocono Pam. But anyways, they have a little segment. What the heck with Linda? Linda's like, I don't get steampunk. What the heck? So steampunk is the mixture or juxtaposition of, you know, Victorian pretty stuff with metal, you know, gears and stuff. So that's really what it's all about. She's like, what the heck? Anyway, that's a little shout out for them. Absolutely love that show. My boyfriend and I watch it together all the time. Anyways, so I'm going to stamp this, and now I've got black. I'm pressing hard. This is my hand carved rubber stamp, guys. You can check out one of my videos, carving your own rubber stamps. It's in my little archive there. But I have a gear stamp that I cut out. Now, you could do any stamping. You don't have to do stamping. You can just spray it. If you want the color, say you were using pattern paper as the medium, then just spray it with some water. You don't need to do the whole glimmer mist thing. So I'm terrible. I like to make a mess. So I'm going to take my crimper and see how it's got arrows there. I am not going to let it dry. You want to keep the heat, and then to make sure that your crimper doesn't rust or whatever, just put another piece of paper through it to dry it. All right. Now you have to squeeze this really hard, guys. The blue has to touch the orange. If not, you're not going to get as thick of a flute. I don't, you know, and it doesn't worry me if it's crooked. So here we got a crooked. You can't even probably tell on screen that the lines are slightly going down this way. Not going to matter. Not going to matter. So here's what we've got going on now. So all you do, and this, you can go on to the next step while this is still wet. Some people probably believe that when you're making, or when we make corrugate, we're putting glue on the liners, on the papers that go on top and behind the flute. But we actually, put glue on the flute tips. So I'm using my Elaine's Tacky Glue. It's because I don't have any white glue. I think, you know, just regular school glue. I think this, you don't want glue that's too thick. So instead I just put a whole bunch of glue down on my mat, and I'm going to spray a little bit of water into it to get to the consistency that I want. So what I'm going to do now, I've got a foam brush here and some water from when I was doing this before. I'm going to mix up my glue and water a little bit to get a thinner consistency. The glue kind of goes into the brush, that's all good. And then I'm going to brush it from the top down. So I'm going against the flutes rather than with the flutes. You want to, you know, it's fine to go a little bit inside the flute, inside the crimp, I should say, if we're talking about crimpers, but it's fine Mostly you just want it on the top. All right, so I got a good coat there. I'm gonna put my pattern paper down. I'm just gonna go right to the edge on one of them. And this you can all cut off later, so don't worry that your flute is too big. Your flute is going is bigger than your papers. It totally doesn't matter. We're gonna fix that later. So you want to press down just a little bit. Rub it with your finger, tiny bit here. And I'm gonna flip it over. Great to work on a non-stick mat because now I'm flipping it over to put the liner or the back piece on. And if I didn't have a mat, it would stick all over the place. So you don't want that. A little bit more water. And again, go the other way. Now it's you can put a lot of glue on the back of your project because of your handmade cardboard over here, even on the other side. Because you want it, especially if you're going to be using it as a mini book cover or an art journal cover, because it gets really, it's really sturdy enough, guys. It's really exciting. You want a lot of glue, and that'll help make sure that it's as stiff as you want it to be. All right, real simple. Throw that on the back. Throw my. As I'm pressing it down right now, so I'm going to clean up with my other hand right here. So exciting, guys. I thought about this a long time ago, only because when I was at work, I was looking at our big corrugator. I'm like, wait a second, I have a mini corrugator at home. I have a crimper. So truly, guys, you can get inspiration anywhere. All right. Now, you can heat this. The more you heat it, though, the more it's going to warp. And you don't want any warp going on your project. I will slightly heat it to speed up the process. But normally, guys, what you want to do, specifically if you're using thinner paper, is to put it in between, put the glue side down and put some books on top of it, on top of your non-stick mat. Because you really want it to dry nice and flat. And you don't want to start tearing, if that's a look that you're going for, until it's completely dry. But for the sake of time here, we're gonna have to start tearing. Oh, I almost stabbed myself. I went like this. Anyways, I thought the lid was on. That was a near miss. Okay. So here's the spot, if you remember. Let me just push them all up here. That we used our X-Acto knife on beforehand. This is so that it would help us be able to rip it. Here we go. And I'm just going to take it and rip it down. Again, you can rip it as much as you want, as little as you want. Imagine if you did this with Coordinations cardstock, so that when you peeled it back, this area would be a different color. Oh, that would be cool. That would be awesome. All right, put it down a little bit. So again, you can rip it as much or as less as you want. All depends on the look that you're going for. And don't worry, we all have these wonderful spray inks and goodness. So if it doesn't, I'm going to work at the corner here. If you get this big long line, right, it's just going to add texture when we put a stencil down. I'm going to find a cool stencil here and do some stenciling real quick on top to show you what it looks like. You can also rip the entire thing. So this is thick, guys. Can you see there? We got our flutes. This is very thick. Once it completely dries, like some of these, and becomes really, really sturdy, like this one, I mean, absolutely, you can use this as a cover to a mini album or an art journal. Okay, so you can also take the whole thing